Hey, this is Dr. Danielle Eaton from St. Louis, Missouri, and you're watching GoTarryn TV.
Hey everybody, welcome to GoTarryn TV today. I'm Tarryn, the traveling trainer from Atlanta, Georgia. It's episode 495. We have a very new guest here for the very first time on GoTarryn TV. All the way from St. Louis, Missouri, we have Dr. Danielle Eaton on the line. Dr. Danielle, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate you being here. So, Dr. Eaton, let me ask you this. Let's start with the very beginning. This is the first time you and I are chatting face-to-face, of course, and I reached out to you directly because I saw some of your Daily Dose videos on Facebook, and I was very impressed. Very, very good information. You're well-spoken. Looks like this is a true passion of yours. You've been doing this for quite some time as well. So, if you could please tell the folks out there who are watching, if this is their first time meeting you, can you please introduce yourself and what you're doing out there in St. Louis, where you grew up and where you're from and all that, please?
Yeah, I grew up actually in Missouri. I've lived in Missouri my whole life, either in St. Louis or just an hour away from St. Louis.
Okay.
So kind of boring in that regard, but but I've done a lot of other really exciting and cool things. Mm-hmm. So when I went to undergrad, I went to a local university here in the St. Louis area, Lindenwood University. Okay. And I actually went there as a dance major and didn't know what I wanted to really do. As I kind of got into dance as a major, I decided that that wasn't really what I wanted to major in, even though I loved dance and still do. I felt like I needed to pick something that was going to be a lucrative career, right? Sure. Those were the messages that I got from my parents and from myself and from society in general. And so I changed my major to business. Okay. But after almost, 3.5 years of majoring in business, I decided, you know what, this is kind of boring. Like, this isn't really what I want to do. It doesn't feel like it's connecting me with a greater purpose in my life. So I changed my major to social work, and it ended up taking me 5 years to finish my bachelor's degree, which was cool. Yeah. And so from there then, I took a year off. I was working full-time, and I knew I wanted to go to graduate school, but wasn't really sure what I wanted to study. So I just kind of explored. I thought about dance therapy as a graduate school program, even art therapy. And I started talking to more people and discovered that we have this amazing chiropractic college in St. Louis, and I learned more about chiropractic. I had only been to a chiropractor twice before choosing to go to school at Logan College of Chiropractic. And so that was my next step. I then at Logan earned a bachelor's degree in human biology. I have to think because there's so many. Yeah. And then a master's in sports science and rehab. So that was kind of where I started my focus on my emphasis on sports and movement and exercise, and then also my doctorate in chiropractic. And then from there, I worked at Logan for a few years. I was really fortunate actually to be able to finish my studies there and then be hired by the university, which doesn't really happen very often for anyone at any university. So I was really, really lucky, and I loved working there. I worked in the sports and rehab department as the assistant director. Okay. And then my daughter came along, my first daughter. And nice. And that's when I started exploring other career options. I practiced on my own for a little bit in the traditional chiropractic practice, and felt like that was actually a lot more challenging than what I wanted to experience as being a mom as well. And so I pulled back on that and just started really exploring, like, what else is possible for me to do. And so now my focus is on helping other moms create balance and happiness and more peace in their lives. So essentially I'm a life coach, although I don't really feel like a life coach. It's interesting. I work with a lot of moms who are chiropractors on helping them, not specifically with their businesses, but helping them to improve their own health and their own happiness that they've been neglecting for many years, probably in most cases, because they've been so busy taking care of their children and their patients in their practice.
See, that's good. And on top of that, I'm going to ask you about Four-Dimensional Moms, that program. But first, let me say this. You mentioned that you're a mother, and you're a mother of 2 daughters. Is that correct?
Yeah, two. And I also have a
Yeah.
stepdaughter. She's 13, so she's a bit older than my little two. They're 5 and 2 years old.
Very cool. Now, what are all their names in order of and their ages once again, please?
Aubrey's the oldest. She's 13.
Uh-huh.
And then we have Allison. She's 5. And Ayla will be 2 in just a few days.
Very nice. So if they're watching right now, I guess we got to say hi to them, and that's great. So you've got your hands full of three girls, and that's
Yeah.
exciting. And you also, before I forget too, I was going to throw this out there. I've got a really good friend who lives in Imperial, Missouri. I was up there last year for Fourth of July visiting. I'm sure you know where Imperial is. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I'm actually not too far away from Imperial right now.
Very cool. Yeah, because I don't know geography, excuse me, of Missouri that well because that was the only time I visited up there. But I was there and we watched St. Louis Cardinals game at the
Yeah.
baseball stadium there. So that's pretty cool. Very exciting. So now focusing, let me ask you this. Let's talk about the program you were just mentioning that you were getting to about mothers. So where did the name Four-Dimensional Moms come from?
It came from my life experience when I was in private practice.
Uh-huh.
And I learned this from other coaches as well that really focus on life coaching for men who are one-dimensional. And I was a one-dimensional woman. So the
Mm-hmm.
concept resonated with me because I was solely focused on my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt so much fear around making sure that I grew my business, not every month, but every single week. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was putting so much pressure on myself to make sure that I was always seeing more patients in my practice and
Yeah.
growing and reaching more people in the community and doing all the marketing things that I could be doing. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't taking care of my own health. I wasn't
Ah.
taking care of, I wasn't practicing movement in the way that's important to me, which
Mm-hmm.
is on a regular, consistent, daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't making time for my family the way that I wanted to be, or even just to relax and breathe and just enjoy life.
Wow.
So the concept of being four-dimensional to me is
Mm-hmm.
always a reminder of living a balanced life. It's
Mm-hmm.
of not just running a business or a practice, but
Mm-hmm.
also taking time to feel happy and healthy and connected to our family and friends as well.
Oh, okay. Excellent. And what other components too? Can you tell us about the? I noticed mindset, health, fitness tools, training, workouts, meditations, worksheets. So when somebody is interested with signing up with you and going into a four-dimensional movement with you, what do you tell them when you first take us through that, please? That's a whole process when they meet up with you and you take them through that program.
Yeah, it really depends upon how we're working together. Are
Yeah.
we working together as someone that's joining my membership site?
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then basically all my resources and tools like audios and worksheets and videos are within the membership site.
Okay.
But if it's
Excellent.
someone that I'm working with one-on-one to really help them get more of what they want in their lives,
Mm-hmm.
then the very first thing we start with, and I'm giving some massive value right here because this
Yeah.
is stuff that I would do with my clients.
Oh, thank you.
Um, I really hone in on helping them get clear on their core desired feelings.
Mm-hmm.
What do you really want to feel in your life? And
Mm-hmm.
how do you really want to feel? And a lot of women, especially, but I think this is applicable to men too,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
we are totally disconnected from how we want to truly feel in our lives because we think that our own wants are not important,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so what do? We end up exhausting ourselves by not taking care of our own needs and our
Mm-hmm.
own wants. So we really just go back to the start and we get clear on how do you want to feel? And let's start there. And we use that core desired feeling to make changes where we need to make changes and
Mm-hmm.
to in the future know how to make choices. So for me, for example, my core desired feeling, and this is a big one, it surpasses all of the others by far,
Mm-hmm.
is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And that means a lot of things to me. Freedom to think however I want to think or
Yeah.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom in movement, like my body is free of restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
That I can work from anywhere. So it has a lot of meaning to me. So when I have a choice to make in my life, like do I want to go this direction in my business or do I want to go this direction in my business?
Mm-hmm.
I go back to that core desired feeling. Which one seems to appear to allow for the most freedom in my life?
Like that.
And then the decision is easy in most
Ah.
cases from there.
That's really good. That's empowering. And let me ask you this: how do you get the time with your own workouts? I always like to ask other fitness professionals that because that's something I struggle with myself. I think I could use some of your tools for my own, practice. Because, for example, I'll tell you, flat out, anybody who knows me and trains with me, I usually put everyone else's needs first. Kind of like what you were describing with your
Yeah.
chiropractic practice. I usually make sure I got all my clients done, and then if there's time for me to work out, I might in that day. But what do you do to budget and organize in your own, personal workouts for yourself?
The very first thing that I have done, the most important thing that I've done in
Hmm.
regard to creating more time for me
Hmm.
to work out or to just enjoy myself, enjoy life, enjoy this beautiful day outside, right? Is by changing the way I think about it. And
Hmm.
my husband had been trying to help me through this for a long time,
Hmm.
but he was just not the person that I was able to hear it from.
Okay.
He
Hmm.
would say, like 10 minutes is better than 0 minutes. And I'm
Mm.
like, no, if I'm not out running for an hour, then it doesn't feel good enough. And so when I really, really leaned into letting go of
Hmm.
that philosophy that like we have to exercise for 50 minutes a day,
Hmm.
5 days a week, and just going with, okay, I can do 10 minutes right now. And that
Hmm.
is better than no minutes at all,
Oh
zero,
yeah. Hmm.
right?
True. Yeah.
So
Certainly.
sometimes my
Hmm.
workout is 10 minutes with kettlebells, and that's it. And so it sounds crazy and it sounds unbelievable to most people because it goes against so many of the things that we're taught to believe,
Hmm.
especially in exercise science, that we have to exercise an hour a day, 5 days a week, or even
Hmm.
half an hour a day, 5 days a week. Um, I just find for myself that that's not true.
Hmm.
I'm able to run faster now than I ever have been able to with actually less running.
Oh, that's great. That's excellent. Wow.
Yeah.
That is tremendous. And I
Yeah.
bet your three girls too. I would imagine they pretty much keep a good active lifestyle as well. Is that
Oh
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are real good role models for them to, take part. And I think that's something missing from a lot of kids in America these days is that we don't get them outside and get them to exercise, and that's not a curriculum in schools we'll find, especially down here in the South.
Yeah, so here we still have PE, phys ed
Good.
in school, but
Mm-hmm.
it is kind of being lessened more and more.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in our family, my husband's a triathlete and a baseball player,
Oh,
and
wow.
he is very much like I am. We're like when we're moving, we feel good, and when we're not
Yeah.
moving, we get stagnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
Mm-hmm.
like to move, and that's the way that we spend family time together. We go
Mm-hmm.
out for a walk, we go for a hike, we go for a bike ride,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like our family activity. So yeah, now that's not to say that sometimes we don't go to a movie
Mm-hmm.
or what else? Sometimes we go out to dinner, so
Mm-hmm.
we're sitting and watching something or sitting and eating.
Yeah.
But we do just kind of naturally gravitate, I think, toward choosing more active
Mm-hmm.
ways of spending time together.
That's good. That's good. And I bet your three girls got to be excited that they're out of school now, right? That's got to be a fun time.
Well, yeah, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the middle child, it's funny. She's 5, so this was actually just her first year of preschool.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to kindergarten in the fall, and she loves school. And she was like, "Mom, I don't want to stop going to school." But now that she's been off of school for a couple of weeks, she's like, "This is great."
That's excellent. That is really cool. Now, also, Dr. Eaton, I wanted to talk to you about your brand, and we're going to get the website and everything else too. But what really struck out to me was I really liked some of the podcasts and some of the samples that you were given on your Facebook with the daily dose updates and such. And that's why I really wanted to reach out to you and get you on here because I can always learn a lot from other professionals who are doing this. And what was it that motivated you to do video blogging or audio podcasting as well? Like, where did that come
Mm,
from?
good question. Actually, the start of it, like really sharing my message, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
began about a year ago when I
Oh,
was
okay.
working with a business coach, and she
Mm-hmm.
really encouraged me to just get out of my comfort zone
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and share more. And she
Yeah.
was like, "You
Yeah.
do really well on video. You should share more
Yeah.
video on
She's
Facebook." And I
right.
was like,
Yeah.
No. I don't think so. I had a lot of fear around like how people would perceive that. Like, who am I to post a video and why would anyone want to watch it? But now I absolutely don't care. Like, I've cried on Facebook videos. I've done all these things that I thought I will never do that. Like, I've had bedhead and smeared mascara. It just doesn't matter to me anymore because what I know now is that the message that I share either
Yeah.
resonates with someone or it
Yeah.
doesn't. And if it doesn't, that's completely fine.
Hmm.
And if it does, then awesome. Then I put myself out there to help inspire somebody else and
Yeah.
change something in their life today, no matter how small it was.
That's excellent. And Dr. Eaton, the four-dimensional moms program and what you're doing for the women and some men too, I'm sure, is just fascinating. I think you're doing wonderful things. What do you find most rewarding about creating four-dimensional moms and everything that you're doing in the fitness and health industry?
That's a really great question. And actually, the answer has become really apparent to me just over the last few days
Hmm.
because I've been kind of leaning into that myself and like, okay, cool. What do I really love and what's my superpower?
Hmm.
I've had two of my one-to-one clients that are moms go back to work in the last month. And they didn't do it because they had to do it
Hmm.
financially. They did it because they were really getting honest with themselves about what they want in their lives
Okay. Hmm.
and being strong in asking for that. So in one case specifically, the mom actually had to really like convince her husband that it was good for the whole family for her to go back to work.
Okay.
So it's not really about her going back to work per se. There was a bee on my nose,
I
but
just had a mosquito
really,
bite just now.
really just more so about her being able to become strong enough to ask for what she really wants and even just know what she really wants in her life for herself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's very good. Here's another question related to the business. What are your two-part question? Short-term goals here in the next 6 months to a year, and what are your long-term goals? What you foresee in the next 5, 10 years?
Wow, I haven't really laid out long-term goals
Hmm.
for 5 to 10 years. It's
Sure.
so hard for me to do that right now because as things grow and change, I grow
Hmm.
and change too.
Yeah.
And what I envision changes really quickly. So short term, I have a goal this year of bringing 100 women into the membership site.
Excellent.
So
Yeah.
that's a
Hmm.
short term goal that I can really foresee happening.
Good.
Beyond that, I'm game for whatever shows up. Whatever the
Yeah.
universe guides me to, I'm here for it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's good. And Dr. Eaton, let's get some information out there too. So, if anybody out there, say my clients or anybody here in Atlanta, is watching, how do they, sign on and get to know you better, contact you? If you could plug your website, social media, any kind of contact information, how could they get a hold of you, please?
Yeah, awesome. Two things. The first place you can find me is at my website. It's drdanielleeaton.com. And then also, I really love to connect with people on Facebook and just get to know them and let them get to know me and see, you know, um, before we even start working together, like, do we like each other? Do we like each other as people? Like, I want to like my clients just as much as I want them to like me.
Hmm.
So I really feel like I like to build relationships with people before I just, want to provide a service to them. And I want to know that it's
Hmm.
the right service for them.
Hmm. That's good. Kind of like
Yeah.
a personality, like a chemistry match, kind of.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
That's
finding me on
good.
Facebook is easy. You can go to facebook.com/, Dr. Danielle Eaton. And there I am.
Perfect. Good. We got that on the screen as well. That's excellent. All right, Dr. Eaton. Well, what else? I guess final question here. What else do you have going on for the rest of the weekend and into the summer? Any vacation plans for your family?
We do have a vacation planned. It's going to be the first one that we've taken to another state in quite a while since our
Okay.
littlest one was born. So we're going to Florida around the Jupiter area. Um,
Oh, nice.
let's see, it'll be about 2 months actually from today. So we're excited about that for
That's
sure.
fun. I was just there not 1 week ago, going to a wedding, specifically in Tequesta, that area, kind of near Stewart, Jupiter area.
Yeah,
So
we'll be right there.
yeah, beautiful, wonderful.
Yes,
I love it there. Yeah, well, that's exciting. Are you guys gonna fly or drive there?
we are driving.
Okay, okay, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's gonna be exciting. You go at your own pace, and you can have fun, and just have a really good time. So that'll be nice.
Yep.
Better than like the kids will look at it this way, better than going to school. So
Right.
that'll be nice. Well, Dr. Eaton, this 20 minutes has flown by so fast. I was really, again, just excited to meet you here. And if we could have you back on here, we'd love to have you back on because it's really nice to meet you and love to pick your brain some more and get you back on a future episode.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I love to talk about these kinds of things, so it's
This is,
easy. I'm
yeah,
game.
seriously, this is wonderful. So I want to encourage everybody out there to check her website out and contact her on Facebook. So, Dr. Eaton, keep doing the great stuff you're doing in the greater St. Louis area, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. And again, please, let's have you back on here. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you, Taryn.
All right, thank you, Dr. Eaton. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, too.
You too.
Okay, everyone, there you have it. Dr. Danielle Eaton. You got her contact information. I urge everyone to check her website out. And she was on here for the very first time via GoTarryn TV. That was my first time getting the chance to meet her face to face. So, Dr. Danielle, if you're watching, thank you very much for your time. Keep up the wonderful work you're doing up there in the greater St. Louis area. We'd love to have you back on again in the very near future. I'm extending the offer to come back as a recurring guest. A lot of topics that you and I could chat about. So again, keep it up. Everyone else out there, hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Here we are into the weekend, and I encourage you to also keep watching GoTarryn TV if you want to keep up with all the video blogs that are being produced and be notified immediately. There's 3 ways you could do it. I encourage you to do all 3. Please make sure to like GoTarryn on Facebook, subscribe to GoTarryn on YouTube, and follow GoTarryn on Twitter. Those are the best 3 ways to keep up with yours truly, Tarryn, the traveling trainer of GoTarryn Personal Training, who tells each and every one of you that it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. Thanks so much for watching again, folks. We'll see you on the next video blog. Bye-bye.